Since 1960, the obesity rate has tripled in America. We literally have an entire subgenre of TV shows that are all about losing weight. Biggest Loser.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Bring it back, let's go! Go, kid, I'm right behind you!
Every single fucking TV show that revolves around one single fat person. And if you need a few statistics just to see how bad this really is, we currently have the lowest life expectancy at birth, the highest death rates for avoidable or treatable conditions, and the highest maternal and infant mortality. When it comes to obesity rates, we have the highest out of all high-income countries, and 2/3 of Americans are either overweight or obese. Real quick, before we go on, I want you to guess, what is the #1 cause of death in America? If you guessed heart disease, you'd be completely correct. And if you didn't know, heart disease has a direct causal link to obesity. Additionally, high blood pressure and high blood cholesterol also contribute to heart disease, which has connections to unhealthy eating. Additionally, 9 out of 10 Americans consume way too much fucking sodium.
Actually, dude, it's salt.
And we'll get into an example of that in a couple of minutes. America also suffers from high rates of cancer.
I have a cancer.
And an ever-increasing amount of people with type 2 diabetes, partly due to the limited access and affordable healthcare. After hearing all this, you might be wondering, how the fuck are we so unhealthy? Well, let's get right into that. When it comes to why this is happening, a lot of people have a debate around the following question. Is obesity a choice?
Of course it's a choice!
And personally, I don't really find this question to be the right question to ask. Something I've learned over time is asking this question drives people to be defensive about their behaviors and not change at all. The right question to ask is, what do we do about this going forward? And if we do really want to talk about whether it's a choice or not, let's look at why people are going this route. Why are people wanting to choose to be obese? Or at least choose not to be active or whatever. And I'm going to be going over 2 different things which I think are underlying causes for this obesity epidemic.
That's 2 things in this house that won't work.
Then go fix them.
2 things that won't work!
The first of which being the food industry. It absolutely fucking sucks.
These nuts. Ha! Got him!
Like I said in the previous section, we have had an alarming amount of people get more obese as time goes on, tripled since 1960. And one of the big things that's driving this is absolutely the food industry. It has placed so much emphasis on eating processed fucking junk, cereal, candy, quick to heat up, convenient meals. All of this is absolutely terrible for you, filled with sodium and filled with a bunch of fucking toxic chemicals that will contribute to long-term health conditions. And there is one example in particular that I found recently which is absolutely fucking trash. That would be Lunchables. You probably know what Lunchables are. They're these little lunch packets with a couple of different ingredients like ham, cheese, crackers, maybe even like a little pizza thing. And these have always been marketed as pretty healthy to your average kid. To quote the head of marketing and strategy at the Kraft Heinz company, the company who makes these things,
Lunchables is more than just fuel for the body or a quick snack. It powers kids' creativity through buildability. Whether a rocket ship, penguin, or UFO,
the fuck is he talking about? It's just ham and crackers and shit.
There are endless possibilities for what kids and their imaginations can build with Lunchables.
Another quote I want to bring to light from them that was recently released on April 3rd, 2024, they say,
Made with wholesome ingredients containing no artificial flavors or colors, each variety of Lunchables offers a protein-packed lunch kit that parents can feel good about and kids will love.
First of all, that's a blatant fucking lie. These things are packed with artificial colors and flavors. If you bother reading through the essay that is their ingredients list on the back of the box, it'll show stuff like red 40, blue 1, yellow 5, and yellow 6, all of which are toxic food dyes that are linked to various health conditions. Second of all, before I go on, I just want you to know 30 million kids are eating this stuff as part of the National Schools Lunch Program that was passed in 2023. Now let's get on to the really bad stuff. Recently, the Consumer Reports Advocacy Group found that this shit contains high amounts of lead, cadmium, and sodium. Sodium is obvious, right? Everything fucking contains sodium these days, especially processed garbage like this. But lead and cadmium, as per the Consumer Reports Advocacy Organization, the Lunchables and similar lunch kits we tested contain concerning levels of sodium and harmful chemicals that can lead to serious health problems over time. The USDA should remove Lunchables from the National School Lunch Program and ensure that kids in schools have healthier options. They also showed how much lead that this stuff contains that is safe enough for the kids. And the guidelines they're going based off of are from California because they are the most protective in America, and also there is no federal law regarding how much fucking heavy metals you can put into food. You can't be serious with this shit. The government doesn't fucking care about us, dude. But regardless, according to this chart that I'm going to put up on the screen now, the lead in your kids' Lunchables ranges from 7% all the way up to 74%, the maximum dosage kids can tolerate. And these little packages, despite making up about 15% of the 1,600 daily calories that a typical kid requires, has about half the amount of sodium that kids are supposed to eat for the entire day. And you wonder why 9 out of 10 Americans consume way too much sodium. And this is only one example that I've gone over so far. From fucking baby food to massive fast food chains like Taco Bell and Pan Express, I could go on and on about how many foods that we eat every week at least and every day at worst contain toxic chemicals and materials that lead to so many health problems, including obesity and other mentioned issues I listed off earlier. And you could bet your ass that these corporations don't give a flying fuck about your health. All they care about is your wallet. Look at what they've been doing for the past fucking, 80 years? They've completely destroyed the public health. Their marketing makes people think, oh, this is healthy, despite them containing a bunch of fucking lead. And you can bet your ass that corporations aren't going to fix this, because they don't care about you. These companies shove all this shit in our faces and pretend it's healthy, or a nice, convenient alternative to actual food. And everybody knows this too, it's not like a secret. You'll see so many fucking videos complaining about corporations and greed. Oh my god. Corporations want your money. And the weird part is, have you seen any of these health YouTubers or anybody in general propose an actual solution beyond regulations that could probably be snapped away with the next administration or whatever? Nobody ever proposes any actual fucking solutions to this problem. And I do have an idea, and it's pretty controversial, but we'll be getting to that in a second. For now, let's move on to the second issue, which I think is perpetuating this epidemic and doing absolutely nothing to help fix it.
Oh no, this is horrible.
What is it, Doctor?
This man has no insurance.
Now it's time to talk about healthcare in America. The healthcare system in America is absolute dog shit. Everybody knows this. Insurance companies want your money, they don't care about your health. You've heard it probably 1,000 times before. But when it comes to obesity, you might be wondering, how is this perpetuating the problem? And I'll go over two things that the healthcare system is doing, which is perpetuating, focusing on treatment over preventative care and weight bias in the doctor's office. First, let's talk about weight bias. For anybody who's watching this that's overweight or obese, has your doctor ever attributed most, if not all, your health complications to you being fat? Like you get a fucking footache or arthritis or some stomach condition and your doctor goes, "It's because you're fat. The solution is to hit the treadmill and burn it off." What this is weight bias. And it is a massive issue that does not only do nothing to help the obesity epidemic, but also worsens it. Doctors will just do dumb things like talk to their patients about exercise rather than educating them on their conditions. They will be less likely to screen patients for certain conditions if they're obese, such as pelvic examinations and more forms of discrimination. There's other stuff that's going on too that I'll leave an article down below for you to learn a little bit more if you want, because I don't want this video to go on too long. But this is a serious issue. The crux of the problem is this. The more society gets fat, the less serious doctors will take people. They generally view fat people as lazy or annoying to deal with no self-discipline. These are the people that are supposed to be taking care of our health and supposed to be giving us medical guidance. But if you're fat or, dare I say, obese, high chances your doctor will view you as a nuisance, say to burn off the weight and eat healthy irregardless of the socioeconomic factors and genetic factors which may have contributed to your current state, and then tell you to fuck off while they treat the skinny patients the way everybody should be treated. It's absolutely disgraceful. Now let's talk a little bit more about treatment over preventative care. This is the backbone of America's healthcare. You let health issues grow and become a big problem, and only after you get to a point where you have to get your wallet raped by health insurance companies can you get help. We do not place a very heavy emphasis on trying to prevent obesity or prevent bad diets from forming. The medical industry clearly isn't doing enough to help combat obesity and promote exercise until it's too late. And you know what this causes? It causes the country to spend much more money per person than any other country in the first world. That results in higher prices being passed down onto us. So much of that cost can be alleviated easily if we just help to prevent people from getting fat. We could do stuff like community-based nutrition programs whose goal is to help improve the nutritional outcomes of their communities. We could be doing this with the medical community. We have programs like Feeding Texas, which have increased fruit and vegetable consumption, which is incredible, and we can have the medical industry jump in at local or larger levels, helping educate people about proper nutrition. But no, we don't. Why? They know it's more profitable for all of us to suffer and suck money from us. They know it's more profitable for all of us to get unhealthy and suffer so they could just take all of our fucking money. The medical industry doesn't do anything substantial to help combat this or prevent people from getting fat by giving advice when they see their patients slowly gaining weight with every single checkup. And before I get some doctor going, actually we do, I'm taking a look at the data and it doesn't look like you do. To be clear, there is nuance to it, and I won't put all the blame on the doctors, but it's pretty clear they're not doing everything in their power to help people get better. In case you're wondering why the background has changed and why the setting has changed, it is so fucking hot out in my garage right now, and a bunch of fucking flies are starting to come in, and they've been bothering me the entire time of recording this video. But I digress. We've gone over what is going on, why this is going on, and now we need to go over the solutions to the obesity epidemic. And we're going to be addressing the two issues that I brought up, which is the healthcare system and corporate greed. First, let's talk about the healthcare system. The big thing we need to do regarding this epidemic is get rid of the weight bias, or at least mitigate it as much as possible, because believe it or not every single condition an obese person has is because of the obesity. Crazy, I know. Some people can have underlying conditions caused by genetics, not just obesity. We need to get rid of that social stigma around it and have doctors stop saying, just lose the weight and all your problems will go away, because that's not the case for everybody. The second part is going to be tying into corporate greed, which is the focus on treatment over preventive care. We do not focus on preventive care because it does not make insurance companies that much money. They can get away with charging a lot more money for fucking treatments and surgeries and all of these other things when you already get the illness than it is to focus on preventing the illness. They can't charge you exorbitant amounts of money for preventive care. What we need to do in that regard is abolish privatized healthcare. At least have a universal healthcare system, and at best move to a single-payer healthcare system. That will get rid of a lot of the greed, because we spend so much money per person in this country, the most out of any developed country and possibly even the world. It is absolutely just fucking insane. Now it's time to get to the most controversial part about this video, which is talking about what we do about greed. Greed has ruined pretty much every single fucking industry on the planet. You'll see countless YouTube videos from countless YouTubers talking about how greed has destroyed various industries, from gaming to media to the food industry to the fitness industry. Every single one has been corrupted by greed. Massive layoffs, massive fucking bonuses to CEOs, all driven by the profit motive that is intrinsically tied to capitalism. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the two barriers that block most people from getting any healthier or being able to work out, which is time and budget. You know who controls both of those things? It's not you, it's your boss. It's your employer. They're the ones controlling how much money you make and when you go into work and make profit for them at your own expense. Just think about how insane that is. We currently live under an economic system where most of the population's time and money and ability to control their own health is financially tied to some dipshit who owns a company and barely does anything besides goes to some meetings. How is this okay? It is absolutely insane how we've been brainwashed into being complacent with this. And the crazy part is, nobody ever fucking talks about it. Again, look at how many YouTube videos are made about greed destroying industries and ask yourself, why are none of them talking about the solution to this? Get rid of them. They need to go bye-bye. They are destroying not only us, but the economy as a whole. These corporations do not care about you. You are a cog in a machine to them. And if you are not an efficient enough cog, they'll just toss you out, lay you off, and then replace you with somebody better. And then you're pretty much fucked. And when it comes to what do we replace this with, why not democratize the workplace? People will have a lot more say over their schedules, they'll have a lot more say over their wages, and there will be a sense of solidarity built within the workplace, so people will actually give a shit about helping each other out at least a little bit, compared to right now, where most of us just go to work, we don't really care that much about each other, except in certain industries of course, and then we go home. Imagine a system where schedules are collaboratively designed to meet the needs of a team as a whole, ensuring everybody has the opportunity to prioritize their health. Like, is it that radical? Is it that bad to imagine a system where everybody collaboratively designs their schedules in order to be able to prioritize their health? Is that fucking insane to people? Is that supposed to be bad? No, it's not bad. Not only will getting rid of the profit motive help ensure those barriers are lifted, but it'll also solve our ultra-processed food problem, where 90% or so of our supermarkets are filled to the brim with ultra-processed trash with a bunch of chemicals and heavy metals in them. The only reason that's happening is because it's cheap and it makes money. If we didn't have a system which prioritized profit over people, then this wouldn't exist. There would be no reason for it to exist. Those are only two of the solutions that we need to focus on when it comes to fixing the obesity epidemic and kind of fixing the economy as a whole. There is a lot more that I can go over and probably will go over time as time goes on, because I plan on making this channel a lot more fitness oriented and combining it with progressive politics, because the fitness industry and the health industry and stuff has been taken over by toxic ass manosphere Andrew Tate bros and toxic amounts of individualism. And I kind of want to change that. So if you agree with anything that I've said in this video, or at least find what I say intriguing, consider dropping a like or a subscription or whatever. And if you made it this far, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, because I plan on making more content like this in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching. See ya.